So right now I'm working on a project of making a 1950s Tron dress. The movie Tron Ares is coming out, and my husband loves the Tron series, and I'm kind of like on a quest right now of going through Disney films and making them 1950s style dresses that represent characters from the show or just the show in general. Just kind of a little thing I'm doing right now. I've done Snow White, I've done The Evil Queen. Tron's coming out. It's my husband's favorite Disney series. So of course I had to make a 1950s style Tron dress. And my husband and I are collabing on this dress because pretty much he came up with the idea of the dress and also is doing a huge part of it, making a huge part of the dress. To get more of the backstory on that, I recommend watching part 1 of the Tron dress series that I'm making right now. I will leave a link for it up above in the description down below. Anyway, in the first film I also talk about the dress design that my husband and I came up with. It will look something like this. Because I saw this dress and it looks really 1950s Tron to me. In the first part of the Tron series dressmaking film I'm doing, I haven't named it yet. I made this mock-up. I know you can't really tell, but this mock-up looks like this dress. And that's what the first film was about, is me talking about why I came up with the idea, how my husband and I are collabing with this dressmaking and making this mock-up. Here, in the second part of this dressmaking, we're actually not going to work with the dress. Like, at all. We're not working with the dress at all. This is going to be literally my husband's section of making the dress. And he will be working on the lights on the dress, the lights that are going to go on the dress to make it light up and be Tron blue or Clue orange or Clue red, and Clue's followers red or whatever color in the Tron series, because there are other colors, they're just not as popular. So he will be working on the lights, and then he's also going to 3D print the disc. Okay, you are annoying me. He's also 3D printing the disc that goes on the back and working on lighting that up. I think I will also insert in this section of the dressmaking also making the light up lights. If we get the light up lights, the light up buttons for the dress. Because if we get to that stage, it's part of the dress that I'm willing to lose if we can't get to it, if we don't have time. But if we do have time, I'm hoping to make the light up buttons. So I'm hoping to also insert that here in this film, in this section, if we get to that. I'm really hoping we get to it. I'm really hoping it'll work out. So this is just, I'm not good with electronics. I'm really, really, really bad at them, and I really don't understand everything that my husband's doing. But I'll try to come in every once in a while and explain what's going on and what we're doing and how we're doing it, and then I'll probably insert clips of hubby doing his thing, doing his stuff. I'm gonna have to come back and probably explain how everything works once it's done and over with of us building everything, because right now I'm just filming the intro because I have no idea how we're doing this. So yeah. Okay, so now that the Tron dress is 90% completed, and I have gone back and viewed all the footage that I have filmed for this Tron Part 2 section of the Tron dressmaking series, I now kind of grasp how I'm going to edit this film and put it out here on the internet. Anyway, so as I said before, a lot of this is my husband's side of the things, and I'd have him explain more, but he's really kind of burnt out and tired lately, and we've been rushing to finish this project, so I don't want to add another thing on his plate when he's already burnt out and feeling sick. That's just cruel. So I'm going to try to explain things the best I can, but also understand that I am not very good with electronics. or coding or electricity or computer parts or any of that stuff, this video is not going to go full board into all that information. It's just going to kind of like skim the surface, briefly explain why we chose what we did and what electronic parts my husband did, and none of the coding because I really don't grasp that. So just barely skim the surface. If you want to go really in depth, sorry, this isn't the video for that. Okay, so now that I've done the viewer discretion advised beginner part of this video, let's go on with each section of the dress and each part of this process. So let's start with the lights and what lights we chose to put on this dress and why we chose them and the video clippage of all that stuff. So we did look at other people's Tron outfits online, other cosplayers' outfits that use lights. A lot of people use like fairy lights, or they use the, I believe, EL wire. But my husband looked into the EL wire. Fairy wire was automatically out of his list. He does not the biggest fan of that stuff. EL wire is something we've never played with, something we never looked into. It was kind of new to us, so we looked into it some more, or he looked into it more. And my husband was like, yeah, I kind of really like this stuff, until he kind of realized it's not very bright in daylight or in light lit rooms. It only really works in the dark. And now they kind of points that out. Every time I look at cosplays of EL wire, yeah, most of the time they're in dim or dark rooms. So he's kind of right on that point. So EL wire at that point was out the window for him, because he wanted, like, if we went to a cosplay event and I wore this dress, he wanted it to be able to light up, people to see the light show effect that he made. Also, he has always wanted to play with individual addressable LED lights, and this was a really, really good excuse, a really small project, but a good excuse for him to play with individual addressable LEDs. So that is what we went with, is a strip of individual addressable LEDs. Actually, it was like a couple of strips, because we have individual addressables in the buttons, some in the disc, and then like the strip that goes on the dress. So that is why we chose individual addressable LEDs. I know it's a route that's not very commonly used in the cosplay world. I shouldn't say that, because I actually do know a lot of cosplays that use it, but it's not a very, in my eyes, it's not a very common one, but it is gaining more popularity. But yeah, so he chose that route, because it was just a good excuse for him to play with the toy he's always wanted to play with. Sorry if I look down a lot, I'm looking at my notes, because I had to write notes of what we did. So when the lights came in the mail, the test strip of individual addressable LEDs, we just bought a test strip first, that I believe was like 1 meter long. It was not really that long. It's about 3 feet-ish, a meter. And we bought that, and he played with that just to see if he could get it to change colors and do some light effects that he wanted to do. So I guess I'll insert some of those clips in. Okay, so you're finagling with some more?
Yep.
Okay, we got the Tron blue.
Tron, and then I've got blue too.
Oh, it's doing the flashy thing. Oh, we talked about it doing this on the wheel, on the disc behind my back.
I'm contemplating having it do it in chunks at a time.
Oh, okay.
Because otherwise,
like
see how it's going to take forever.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we'll have to try that with the disc, because I think once you get the disc built... Yeah,
the disc is only going to be this many
big,
LEDs.
Yeah, that's true.
So...
Yeah, you might want to do
as long as I make this take that same amount of time, that'd be fine.
Yeah, that's true. But that's cool. Let's do the flashy, and then sting. Nice. we talked about that.
And I've also got the reverse of that.
Well, you got it reversed?
Well, it doesn't go back.
Oh, I thought you went backwards.
I could. I just need to invert the numbers.
Well, you can make it go backwards. You're loving this, aren't you? With this individual addressable LEDs.
So if I go clue. Oops.
Oh, that's that yellow clue.
2.
So clue 2 is the dark red that like his followers are, and then he's the yellower.
He's supposed to be the gold.
Yeah,
color.
gold, but we can't quite hit the gold.
No, but I can modify that, and then if I go Tron.
Oh.
Tron starts to take over.
Tron's taking over. Oh, that is cool. You should have it like battle, go back and forth, back and forth. Oh, dude, that's so cool. Dude, that took you no time at all to figure that out.
Yeah, it's basic so far, but I can technically make it go the other way if we wanted.
That's so cool. I still have to build the dress, and then we gotta figure all this out.
Having a battle in the middle would be kind of interesting.
That's
It'd be
what
a little
I'm
hard.
saying. Like, how the battle would be cool. Technically, it might be 2 strips in the middle.
I'd run it all as one.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard because like.
And then one on this side.
They're gonna have to like clip together.
Well, that's the whole plan.
Yeah,
they're gonna clip in the middle.
Yeah.
Because this just connects to
Oh,
another one.
that's true. Because that just connects right there, and we'll just have to.
Yeah.
Do it as close as we can to like here connecting.
Well, it doesn't matter if this just wraps up or something like.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool.
But I figured you'd enjoy seeing that.
Yeah, that's so cool. You're so smart. Okay, we got the Tron blue. If we lay 1 layer over, you can kind of still see all the lights.
Which I figured you would, unfortunately.
And then if we do 2 layers, you still kind of see all the lights.
Yeah, you need a little more space between them, so if you come up just a little bit.
Yeah, I just don't know if I could come up just a little bit.
Also feel the heat from these.
Yeah, they are pretty warm.
I can try and turn down. What I thought about.
Turn down the brightness.
Yeah, 1 second. Brightness level will be.
I step away and the light gets so much brighter. Must have been blocking it. Oops, sorry.
This one's not quite as bright.
Yeah, I don't think. Again, if you get it off just a tiny bit.
Yeah, it helps a ton.
It helps so much. It's crazy.
Look, Ray, watch right here.
Okay. Oh, wow, that's so cool. That was cool. Watch it go. Yeah, we're gonna have to figure out how to keep it off a little bit more than this plastic casing does.
Mm-hmm. And then I've also made it so that I can just clear and end program.
And then I just have white. And you can't see anything. Like, you can't even see
that
there's tubing or anything. Cool, cool, cool. 1 step further. Thank you, babe.
Like, one thing I thought about is adding to the front of this.
Yeah.
The white silicone that's just slightly rounded. If we can kind of form it like that, then it will...
Defer a little bit.
Yeah, diffuse a little.
Diffuse, that's the word. Thank you. English is not my strong suit.
And you can just try it with like a little bit at the end here or something.
Yeah.
And then what we would end up doing is buying another one of these and just plugging it in, and it would just continue with the circuit.
Okay, so you got your 3 buttons.
3 buttons. Primary, Tron, clue, Alt.
Alt, yeah.
Tron button, clue button, Alt, Alt-Tron, which is player or worshippers.
Yeah.
And then release goes to Tron, Alt, clue, so military.
Mm-hmm.
Then regular clue.
Clue. That's supposed to be golden, but it's still a little red.
Yeah, it needs finagling. And then hold both Alt and clue, and then push the other button, which my button moved.
No! Testing board problems.
Yeah, I need better buttons.
Okay, so the other one.
Clue, and then off.
Oh yeah, that goes off. Okay, and then you have other things up there where you can cycle.
Yep. If I push Alt, it'll cycle through the 3 different change style modes. or if I hold Tron and push the Alt, it'll change the speed, how fast it changes. If I hold Clue and use the Alt button...
No, Clue.
One more time because my buttons are moving. Stupidness. But it'll slow down.
You'll Alt and slow down. You're so smart with all your coding.
But,
Oh, yep. See, now I see it going down.
And it has a minimum of 100, maximum of 1000.
Wow.
This way you have 10 different speed modes.
That's going to be a lot of different speeds.
Wow. It's going to change on the edge of the disc, and I'm going to use that as the gauge of how far it is.
Oh no, I moved them all. I broke it.
It's okay. Which button do you try to push?
I was going through all of them, so clear was Tron,
That's
Clue.
good.
And then if I hold this and go like this.
Yeah.
There we go. Ah!
See my problem with the buttons?
I'm breaking everything.
Oh, it's not just you.
Well, the button thingy will come in the mail here soon. Yay! We bought the LEDs in a plastic tubing, either in the clip you just watched or one you're about to watch. We bought the LEDs in a plastic tubing because my husband's idea was he wanted this dress to be washable. Not like exactly waterproof or water resistant. Well, yeah, waterproof or water resistant, so it can be lightly washed or hand washed. Possibly submerged in water. That was his original game plan. And yes, this dress at this point is mostly there. I still don't think the buttons we haven't quite finished yet, but I think the buttons might be, I don't know. Either way, I don't plan on like submerging this dress in water. If I do wash it, it probably will be like a steam wash or a spot washing in the future. But his idea was to make it machine washable or light hand washing. So that's why the lights came in a tube, which also ended up being in our benefit. So I'm trying to figure out if I want to go with continue with talking about the lights or go to the computer parts. I think I'm going to continue to talk about the lights, so this might go back and forth in time-wise. So once we figured out the lights and he figured out how the computer parts with it and how it worked and everything, we coated the tube in a clear, 100% clear silicone caulk. It's actually like more transparent. And we had a piece of cardboard. I'll probably insert the clip with this, but we had a piece of cardboard that we cut a little hole, a little archway through and just ran it down. We did this so it would actually diffuse the light better on the dress and the fabric isn't touching the lights. Okay, this is like really bad lighting and everything. But this is the strip of LEDs that we're going to use, the individual addressable LEDs. And my husband just did this, is we made this little round cutout, as you can see. I had one that's a little too high. This was a little smaller of a round cutout that I did on that cardboard, those like weird thick paper cardboard things. And we just put some of that 100% silicone clear caulk that I used for making the mold, the button molds. And we just put a little layer of that on and then scrape it with this little round archway. Obviously it's not perfect. If you come like down here, you can see it's thinner and then it gets like thicker. And then there's like, this section right here where we have some holes, some air bubbles. But it is what it is. It's just to help diffuse the light some and make it not so stark. As you can kind of tell, like right here, you can see the LEDs versus over here, it's like cloudy. And that's going to help diffuse the light. At least that's the theory. So, we'll see if it works. Actually, it does. We already tested it out, and it does. So, yeah. After we put caulk on it and the caulk dried, we cut it into the strips that we needed for around the dress, and then, well, he cut them, and then he resoldered them together. And then, like, when the dress connects from the top to the bottom where it jumps over, there are clips, and we put those clips together and tuck them into the dress. Okay, so now on to computer coding, programming stuff. So at the beginning, when we first got the individual adjustable LED lights, that 1 meter strip, when we first got that, my husband connected it to a Raspberry Pi, and he found a code online. If I can find that code, I will try to link everything that we used in the description box below, and where we found like the 3D print parts or the Raspberry Pi code or the computer parts. I will try to link all of that into the description box below. I make no guarantees that'll be everything, but I will try my best. Anyway, when we got the lights, he hooked them up to his Raspberry Pi, and he found a code. I believe he found a code online. I am not 100% sure about that now, but I'm gonna go with it. I believe he found a code online about the lights for the Raspberry Pi, and that's what he originally used for a lot of the testing. If I haven't used those clips before of us using and testing of the lights, I'll clip those in now, because otherwise there's no point in you watching it twice. But at the beginning we used the Raspberry Pi and did little tricks and light shows with it, so I can insert those now if I haven't used those clips earlier. After we used the Raspberry Pi, my husband kind of realized the Raspberry Pi wasn't going to fit in the backpack, because his game plan was to have the disc and then have the disc clipped on, like in the little middle circle of the disc, have it clip onto that little thing, and then have that clip on your back like it does in the Tron Legacy. There's the disc, and it just puts on the person, you turn it, and it clips onto somebody's back. There's a little nub that sticks out of their back, the little backpack. That was always the game plan, and we did find the 3D printing codes for that. But he kind of quickly realized he quickly realized the Raspberry Pi wasn't going to fit in the 3D backpack, the 3D printed backpack for the disc. So also the Raspberry Pi was being really problematic, or the breadboard for the Raspberry Pi was being very problematic with the buttons popping up. So he bought himself an ESP32 S3. I think that's what it is. Sorry, I'm looking at my notes. An ESP32 like dash S3. So yeah, ESP32-S3. Okay, that's what I'm calling it. He bought one of those. It's a bigger board. And he bought one of those, and when he bought that, he realized the code he was using for the Raspberry Pi was no longer going to work for the little computer chip. So he had to recode, start from scratch, and make his own code for the light show. I'm trying to convince him to release that out on the internet and let that be public domain, but so far he doesn't think it's really that great and doesn't want to put it out there on the internet. So if y'all want to have that code, comment below and I'll try to convince him to release that to the public domain. But anyway, he has the bigger one for testing and had always planned on using a smaller one to hook in the backpack and hook in the disc. So we'll have two, and they'll like Wi-Fi, Bluetooth talk to each other, either Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. I don't remember which one. But anyway, we would always buy two little ones. The game plan was always to buy two little ones, put one in the disc and one in the backpack, and they would talk to each other. They were just taking longer to come in the mail, so that's why we had the bigger one. We tested with the bigger one. Okay. We're not doing the Raspberry Pi anymore. We're doing microcontroller. Whatever that thing is. It's a
ESP32.
ESP32. Well, actually, technically, aren't we doing a smaller one that's coming in the mail?
Yeah, but this one is the same thing, pretty much.
I love how you can see our Powerball tickets. Anyway, okay. Ooh, blue. Try blue. Clue, clue red. The white. And then the clue follower red. Ooh, the fade.
Now, I don't know if the buttons work for you because I know how you are with touches.
Yeah, I'm not very...
So, now I want you to touch that one. Just pinch it.
Okay.
Nope, it worked.
It worked. Yay! It changed red! Come good, Clue. Clue's taking over. Oh, okay. So we'll have buttons in the circle.
No, actually, I'm just going to change it to touch buttons.
Oh.
I just made it so the program can work with either. Then I don't have to spend money on buttons. I just have to have the wires come out to the outside, and then you can just touch them, and then they'll work.
Oh, fancy schmancy here,
Because apparently microcontrollers allow for touch input.
Well, that makes life so much easier than buttons.
Right. Especially because the buttons are
and they're...
The buttons are screwy.
and they're fancy schmancy.
Right? And then... This is the part that I was having a harder time with last night. Was the actual turn off.
Oh, yeah, it worked for you right there. This time. It worked for you right then. So... Yeah. Okay, but what's the smaller one of these thingies?
It's still an ESP32.
Okay, it's just a baby. It's just a baby.
It's just a mini one. It's got less pins.
Okay, and that's what's gonna go in my back.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the plan.
Cool, ka-choo. So then the little ones came in the mail. They are the same thing. We bought two ESP32-53 super minis. That's what they are. They're super minis. Like I said, one for the backpack, one for the disc. So the game plan was always to have the disc on my back, and then I could take it off sometimes. And if I took it off and played with the buttons on the disc, the touchable, well, buttons, and then later on became touchable, the buttons on the disc, they would change the lights or do a light effect on the dress and the disc. Which is why we bought two. And the backpack is hooked up to the lights on the dress. So the lights on the dress have a wire that go to the backpack. So the disc is the remote control that lights everything up, which I think is super cool that he did that. Okay, you've got it all hooked up now.
Yep,
the baby
well, kind of.
The baby
little board.
The baby board.
Yeah. Boop.
Ooh, it's blue.
Boop.
It's red. Ooh, are you okay?
Yep.
Looks like you got shocked. Oh,
no.
It's fading.
So I can now control it that way. This has the same programming as the big one.
Yeah. It's just the little one has the program now.
I've already started working on the wireless, but that's not ready yet.
Okay, cool. You're doing great. You're doing all the things.
And to think, all that runs off of this little bitty board.
I think that's everything for the computer light show area. Hopefully that is. Hopefully I won't have to insert another clip here. But that's all I have information-wise about the coding and computer stuff. Like I said, it's not very much in depth. I don't know a lot about computer and coding and electronics. I'm just doing this for my husband and myself. So if you have any questions throughout this video, comment below. I will try to get back to you and answer them to the best of my ability, or have my husband get back to you on those questions. Sorry, once again, playing with my notes. Do I want to do the disc or do I want to do the buttons? Let's do the buttons. Let's go to the buttons. So the buttons I was in charge of, and the buttons I actually did a lot more explaining and in depth of how he made the buttons than like anything else, because once again, I've been doing videos for a little while. I knew what I was doing. So I was in charge of the buttons, and I'll just insert right now all the clips of making the buttons. So I want to make the buttons for the Tron dress, and I want to make them light up. So I'm gonna have to make my own buttons, because I don't know. I think this is the other way that's going to work, is I haven't found electric buttons or LED buttons online. So this is the button I tried on the dress earlier, and I actually like the size. I didn't think I did, but I did after trying it on. But as you can see, it has this little X design, and if I turn it on its side, you can see from the glare that it actually sticks out. It actually protrudes some from the button. Oh, and we're also going with this button design where it has the little nub on the back side versus the ones with the holes, like that normally look like this. Sorry for like the crappy lighting. Anyway, that goes like this. A button that has the 4 holes in the front like this one. Because we need the LED in it, so we need something that's a little more round, and we need a way to have the wires come out the back. If you have the one with like the 4 holes in the front, as you can see, the string is going to block the LED light. And we also want to make it a circle, so we want like a black inner and then a white clear outside so the LED can shine through. And make it circular like the Tron movie. Anyway, so what I did is I got one of these buttons and then I actually coated it with some polymer clay. Made a nice round cover over it, so as now I can take it on its side and you can see it's nice and round, and it covers all of it, and it makes it a little bit wider. Made it a little bit wider, but it just covers all the sides. And then I did bake this in the oven following the polymer clay rules, which I think is like 250, but I only did it for like 5 minutes because it's a really thin layer of clay, enough to hide that little stitch mark that this one has. So I only cooked it for like 5 minutes, and I don't know if you can tell, but it kind of, hold on. Yeah, you can kind of tell. It kind of warped the little buttonhole in the back. See, it's supposed to be nice and square like that, and I warped it. I don't know, my finger's in the way now. Yeah, you can kind of see I warped it just ever so slightly and melted on the one side. You can also see it like where the tin foil, probably can see. Can you see? Yeah, you can see. It's right there where the tin foil dented in on it. Anyway, so yeah, I baked this for like 5 minutes. It's all nice and hard. So I'm gonna now make a silicone mold to put the button in. That way I can make my own buttons. And it's gonna be kind of a complicated situation. So I did do one. I did a test one. And it just, the button goes in just like that, and it kind of barely goes over the edges. There we go. Now it's in all the way. And you can see it just barely goes over, maybe. You can see it just barely goes over the edges of the back side, maybe. Maybe you can see that, maybe you can't. Anyway, I'm trying my best. So that's what we're gonna do, is make a couple more of these ones, because I only have like 2-3 days left to make this. I procrastinated for too long. So I figured if I make a bunch of molds, I can pump out a bunch of buttons at one time. What you're going to need to make your own silicone mold is you're going to need 100% silicone. Here, maybe I can turn it this way. You're going to want 100% silicone, not like silicone advance or whatever. The ones that say 100% silicone. Any color will do. I'm just got clear because we're going to use them for the lights whenever we get around to that. I have a dish right here of water and some Dawn dish soap and a little bit of cornstarch, actually potato starch in it, because I have potato starch, not cornstarch. See, it says potato starch right there. I have potato starch, not cornstarch. Then I have this mold. It's just literally a cute little pumpkin mold. I don't even see, you can't even tell if you can see it or not. They're cute little pumpkins. That's all this is. And I just used this because it was small enough for the buttons. Like, it literally, put that caulk down so I can have 2 hands. It is literally a little bit bigger than the button. So that's the only reason why I'm using this one. And because this is a silicone mold, and silicone on silicone action means they'll stick together forever, I have a little piece of saran wrap as a buffer. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to squeeze some caulk into the water, into the Dawn dish soap water. However much I think will be needed for the mold. And the Dawn dish soap is going to make it so the silicone isn't sticking to you. So you see how it would normally stick to you, but if you get your finger wet in the Dawn dish soap water or the caulk, it stops sticking to you as much. And that's kind of the plan, is you just kind of knead it, work through it in the water, collect all its little stringy left behinds, and just work through it, molding it until it's less sticky and tacky and it starts feeling like it's going to start hardening up. To make the process go a little bit faster, you can add some potato starch or cornstarch. So as you can see, it's been a couple minutes later and it is more of a white instead of a clear. And you can just see as I'm pulling it, it's sticking to itself more and acting more of a solid and less sticky and tacky to myself. So let's move that out of the way. Move the wrong button out of the way. And I'm just going to choose a random pumpkin hole. It doesn't matter. Actually, I'm going to do this corner one because it looks more shallow. Okay. I'm going to roll it into a ball. Okay. Roll it into a ball. Stick it in there. Hopefully we made enough silicone. Oh, I should do this. Hold on. Dip my button in the water so it sticks less to that. And then I just push it down in the water. Push it down in the water. Push it down in the silicone. So there it goes. It's now in the silicone. And the silicone has that plastic wrap that's protecting the silicone from touching the silicone mold. And yeah. Okay, so here are the buttons so far. We did the black and then we put a really small, like right here you can see, we put a small round little circle of, sorry I don't want to touch that because that's resin on it, now we touched it. Oh. Anyway, we put made little small round aluminum foil circles and we put those at the, don't focus on my finger, focus on the buttons, put them right behind the little black. That way the LEDs, when they reflect, can reflect off the aluminum foil. At least that's hopefully the game plan, and not be absorbed by the black resin. So we put a thin layer of white resin to keep that aluminum foil down. And the game plan was to put like another layer of white resin and then the LEDs. But my white pigment, this stuff right here, this stuff is very, very, very pigmented. Like this teeny tiniest drop makes this container white. So what we did is we went with backup plan of, we put some E6000 and made like a huge glob of E6000 and then stuck the LED on the huge glob. That way they're floating upwards and it's clear because E6000 is clear. And now we're gonna fill it up with some white resin. So hopefully it's not too cloudy, but it's enough that like the light can get through. I mean, that's the game plan. Who knows? We're making this up as we go along. And once the resin thickens up a little bit, I have these little nubbins that I made with holes. That will be the black back nubbin of the button to connect to the dress. So let me pour the resin and put the nubbins on and show you what all that looks like. Okay, I'm not quite sure this is gonna work, but we tried. So I filled up the molds with the rest of the white, and then as you can see, I stuck the little nubbins. Some of the white nubbins are white, some of them are black. I stuck them on top of the computer chip, the LED, and the wires are sticking out. I'm not sure how this is gonna work on sticking to the dress, but hey, I tried, right? I tried. So yeah, anyway, yep, I filled up those molds the rest of the way with white resin and stuck those nubbins on. Okay, here are the button lights, and I absolutely hate them. Not only did like the nub sink in on a lot of them. This one's actually really great, but a lot of them they sunk in, and now I have to like re-drill the hole. But they look like eyeballs,
and they're creepy and they're gross, and I have a huge eye phobia, which is why I don't look at the camera a lot, because I hate editing and having to make eye contact with myself. But they look like eyeballs, and they're creepy and they're gross, and no. I don't want to use them. So I think I may make new ones, and they're just going to be completely white. And then the LED in the back, like just a thin layer of white, and then the rest of it clear. With the LED in the back. And something, I don't know, we gotta improve this wire situation. But I might make new buttons, because those are creepy and gross, and I don't like them, and they creep me out. They look like eyeballs. So, nope, no to these buttons.
So the buttons are, at one point it was a game plan that, I don't know, we didn't know what we were doing with these buttons and how they were going to connect. So at one point it was they were going to be their own thing on each different panel of the dress. At another point, it was, oh wait, we'll just tie them into the light strip. But then my husband kind of realized the coding for that would be really hard and annoying. It would be better to have them on their own test light strip. Just on their own little light strip. So they are now, so I don't know what they're going to be. Right now the game plan is to make them on their own light strip and somehow connected and wired to the backpack. I don't know what the future game plan is, because like I said, I'm still in the process right now of making those buttons. This film is really kind of confusing, because some of it's future stuff, some of it's past stuff, some of it's current stuff. So this is really confusing to me, but I'm figuring it out. So, in the future, we'll see how the buttons go, because current me right now has no idea. We're still in the process of making the buttons. Who knows? Maybe we'll be scrapping this section. Okay, so on to the disc. So the disc was kind of one of the easiest and the hardest parts of this whole dressmaking. We went onto Thingiverse. I love the website Thingiverse. Don't ever get me on that website. I'll never get off. I will find tons of things that I want my husband to 3D print. He already has a laundry list of things I want him to 3D print that he hasn't. Thingiverse is my dark rabbit hole. Anyway, husband went on to Thingiverse and found a 3D print Tron disc, and that's what he did. It comes in multiple parts. It comes with 2 halves of the back, and then you have the other half because you gotta sandwich those. So the black part of the disc comes in 4 sections. At least we cut it in 4 sections to fit on our 3D printer. He cut it, I should say. And then it has a bunch of little clips to go in for the white inner circle, and then some blade parts for the white outer part of the disc. So we printed all those off. Some failed, some didn't, multiple times. So we finally got all those printed off, and then my husband couldn't find what he was looking for of the backpack for the disc to connect to, so I went on Thingiverse and I helped them find that. It's actually called Tron backpack. Really funny that you couldn't find that. So we printed off the backpack, and we had to modify that a little bit so that it could do everything that we needed the backpack to do, which I'll explain in a minute. So once we printed off all the parts, we kind of assembled the disc mostly together, all the 3D parts of the disc mostly together. And then my husband went and cut some LEDs, some individual dressable LEDs, and then soldered them together. And then he has a row on the inside of the disc for the inner part of the disc, and then a row of LEDs on the outer part of the disc. So there's that 2 parts of the disc that light up. And then on the inner part, we put aluminum foil. I might actually have clips of all this. But anyway, we put it in aluminum foil, and then there's the little computer chip. So the disc also has touch buttons, like I said earlier, because the disc is the remote control for the lights on the disc and on the dress. It is the remote control to change the lights and do the cool little light show. I think that's a genius idea that my husband did of that. Also on the disc, as you probably saw, is magnets. Those are to help clip it onto the backpack, and they also are used as charging. That will help charge the battery in the disc. At this time frame, we do not have the correct battery for the disc. I think our game plan right now is to use a button battery. Hopefully that will last long enough just to do the reveal. But we will have better batteries in it in the future. I don't know what batteries he plans on using right now, or plans on using in the future. Right now it's just a button battery because that's what we have on hand, and we are already behind on getting this dress done on time. And then the backpack, I will probably have to insert clips of that too, because the backpack right now is being in the process of being printed. So I have no idea how that's going to be assembled at this current moment in time. So hopefully I film what the backpack looks like and all the understandings of how that is assembled and explain that in the clips in the future. Because I have no idea. I just know the backpack at this point in time, we know it's going to hold the batteries, probably with 18650s or something smaller, but it will hold the batteries for the lights on the dress. It will have a charging port so we can charge the battery and charge the battery that will hold the disc. We'll also have a computer chip to talk to the disc, and that's all I know that it will hold right now. And then the game plan, I think, which might change once the backpack is printed, is to either sew it onto the dress or glue magnets on it and then sew magnets onto the dress, and then that just clips on magnet wise. Once again, hopefully I filmed that because we are not there yet. We are in the process of printing the backpack.
Okay, once again, sorry for the crappy lighting and my shadow and everything. I'm in the basement, which is like my husband domain. But anyway, here's the disc. This is what the front side of the disc looks like. All 3D printed. We haven't sanded it or polished it yet or anything to make it look nice. And then they'll have like this little disc, this little blade on the outside. It's falling off on this side because we haven't glued them on yet. I have some tacky stuff holding it there. But anyway, it will have a blade, and then you can see there's these little nubs right here, and we'll stick on one side these magnets into the nubs. These magnets are, right now they're the ones that you get at Harbor and Freight, but they are a little too big, so we need to buy some slightly smaller magnets. Let's see. Oh, if I can not keep repeatedly dropping this. See, they're too big to go in that nubby hole. Here is the inside of the disc. So we have the inner light and then the outer light blade. So husband's made a bunch of LEDs that are like caterpillar chained together, and they'll be glued against this inner wall right in here. And then on the other side of the wall, this side right here, we are going to stick some aluminum foil. So here's like this little strip of aluminum foil. We'll cut them and glue them onto that other wall. That way they have more something to reflect against and be brighter, even though they're LEDs and they are bright. But we still need to glue that. So that's the inner part, is this little caterpillar goes against this inner wall here. And then they'll be attached, all the lights will be attached to this computer chip, which is that EP something 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 something. Yeah, that thing. See, right here it says on this side. The EP32 Super Mini. So they'll be connected to that. Then we have these LEDs, which we haven't wired yet, and they'll be on the outside. They'll lay just like this. And then there'll be a wire connecting all of them. They'll light up this outer blade. These ones will be lighting up these inner white ones. But these LEDs will be out here. And then on the other side, we'll have the aluminum foil on this side of the blade. We'll have the aluminum foil once again, so the lights can reflect off of that and be brighter. But that is the setup for the inside of the disc and what the outside of the disc will look like. Oh, we will be sticking a wire coming out from like one of these spots over here. We'll have a wire coming out, and actually I think it's on this side, and or some point, and then we'll have 3 little touch buttons. Actually, maybe it was right over here. We'll have 3 little touch buttons for me to touch and turn the lights and do the little light show. So we will be putting those touch buttons in. We haven't done that yet. This is the backpack. This cute little backpack. It has a little cover, but doesn't even lock in place. It looks like it just looks like it sits. That might be a problem. We'll have to figure that out. Then inside, we haven't gotten very far, but oh, and the disc needs a crap, I forgot the piece. There's another computer piece that's going to be in here for the battery and Adreno, something. Another computer to turn down the power so that these don't suck up too much power, from my understanding. I think that's what I say. This is the battery pack that we printed that will go inside the backpack. And then it has on the back side, has been started wiring it, and it will have the computer chip, and it will stick out a little bit, stick somewhere where we can charge it. And it will also have a, oh crap, there's another computer piece that goes with that, and I totally forgot what it's called too. But I'll have another computer piece. That's a diode, I think is what it's called, is a diode on this one or something like that. So this one will have one of those. I don't know. I know nothing about computers. I'm trying to remember. We had the 2 computer pieces. We just have lost them in my husband's pile of electronics. So we need to go through and sort all those to find the 2 other computer pieces, which is why we haven't attached those yet. But anyway, and oh, I didn't tell you, inside this battery pack is 186. Inside the battery pack is 18650s. My husband is obsessed with them. So, yeah, see, 18650. My husband is obsessed with those, and everything has been converted in our house to work with 18650s. You could probably put your own battery pack of like a 9-volt battery or something else. I just know my husband's obsessed with 18650s, so anyway. And then this will have, once again, it has the same nubbins that are on the disc, and those will have magnets so that the disc can just connect onto the backpack and be easily removed on and off from the backpack, and they will also act as charging ports somehow in the future. Okay, there is the disc and my understanding of it. Sorry, I don't remember every part and piece of it, but that is my understanding.
So I hope this all works out and makes sense to everybody. It's kind of convoluted for me because some of the stuff, like I said, we've filmed in the past. Right now I'm currently filming kind of an explanation of everything we've been doing and will be doing. And there's some things we haven't got to on building this dress. Like I said at the beginning, it's like 90% complete. So hopefully I film everything that I need to film. Hopefully this all makes sense and all the clips I put in make sense and everything works out. This is definitely not what I normally film and put up on this channel. It is totally out of my league. But it is something that we needed to do for this Tron dress and this project. This is what happens when I collab with my husband. So yeah, this is just, I guess, the process of cosplay. Yeah, so hopefully this video was helpful to some people out there. And hopefully you guys like this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the little bell notification so you can see more of my videos in the future, especially next video, because next video is the Tron dress part 3, where I actually assemble the whole entire dress, show the review of it, show it all nice in its prettiness and its light show and completeness. And so that will hopefully be the next episode, or the next video on this website, on this YouTube channel. So yeah, so subscribe, follow along so you can see that. And I hope to see you in my next video. Thank you for watching. Bye.